maker. Hey, Dad.
As promised, this week we are making a wreath for Lent. Kind of a preparation for the Easter season and the warm weather and the springtime that's coming. So come with us. Little sidebar, not everything's done outside for us. We've just spent the whole week stripping the carpet, stripping everything that's under the carpet, sanding the floor, oiling the floor with tung oil, painting. Ganny and Pawpaw came in here and painted the walls and the ceilings, and I just finished the crown and the little footer boards. So it looks really nice for Mr. Heston. My personal philosophy on crown molding is cut once, caulk twice. I hate Bradford pears with a purple passion. They are useless. They're structurally weak. They break. Except for this one, they do not make real pears. Who decided to make a tree that doesn't make any fruit? Humans did. That's for sure. They also crossbreed with your normal pear to keep those babies from making any real pears. So, those are the ones we're using to make this wreath. What is nice about them is they've kind of got these little buds on them. So it's really kind of represents spring or pre-spring. So it'll be nice. I also get to, prune the tree up. I guess I'm pruning it up because the weight coming off helps the limbs to rise, so you're not walking into them. This tree was here when I moved here. That's a good one. Come here, you. Yeah, that'll be a good one too. All right. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What else we got? A few more of these little guys, just to kind of give it some body. Whoa. Yeah. You. That should be enough. All right. Let's get to weaving. Yeah. That's a good one. Come here. Let go. Yeah. And here comes the hard part. So I wanted to take this time to talk about seasons, cycles, how we all have them, how we all run through them, whether or not we think we are, whether or not we want to, And whether or not we try to break the wheel, there's always a wheel. Try another one. There's always a wheel. Not a will, a wheel. There may be a will to break the wheel. But we have cycles. So, seasons for planting, hunting, harvesting. Seasons for everything. If you think about how society works, we have Halloween, which is kind of Halloween and All Saints Day and All Souls Day and harvest festivals. And it represents this kind of slowing down, this kind of gentle dying, like the fall leaves. And then we roll into Advent, which kind of represents a time of penance, reflection. And for us liturgical Christians, it represents kind of the three comings of Christ. You know, we say the two, the birth of Jesus, and then celebrating the second coming. But there's also that quiet coming into our hearts of salvation. And so that's a time of, after this like ritual dying of the fall, where we get ready for the winter solstice, for Christ to come again into our hearts, and eventually at the end of this great cycle. So it's a beautiful time for reflection. After that, we roll into New Year's Eve, which is another really awesome time. January is named after the god Janus, who is the god of doorways and has two heads and looks both ways. Always into the future for the things that are going to happen, and always into the past for regret and mistakes that have been made. And that's when we make New Year's resolutions. While we're kind of gathered at the hearth and eating some stews, drinking a little bourbon, or reflecting on our mistakes of the previous year. And we are looking forward to the future spring. Then we get through the Christmas season, through the New Year, through Epiphany, and we come to Lent. And Lent is that last bit of purification. I am here to tell you that pear trees are a whole lot harder to weave than you would think. Okay. So we get to Lent. And it's this last push, this last preparation before the Easter. Oh, we're getting there, we're getting there. Let me do a few more breaks here. Okay. Come on. There we go. It's this last push. All of our cycles, all of our holidays, especially our religious ones, also serve secular functions. There's a reason why Christ's birthday is at the birth of the new year, the shortest day of the year. And then the days get longer. There's a reason why the resurrection is in the spring. They all serve a purpose, and Lent is the same. Lent was a time when, secularly, we were running out of food. It's the end of winter. We've drank all the beer. We've ate all the food stores. And we're getting close to serious hunger time. And so we set up a season in the Christian year. A season of fasting, of reflection, of a time to grow closer to God, of a time to grow closer to each other. And so how did we mark this? How did we make sure that everybody did it? Well, we had a big old party. That was the first thing, right? So we have Mardi Gras, Carnival, Shrove Tuesday, whatever you want to call it. And it was kind of this big party to celebrate the coming and getting ready. And it also serves as a wonderful way to have accountability. Because that way, if you caught me sneaking into the grain stores, you could be like, oh, no, Cole, you were at the party. You remember when you got drunk and you promised that you were going to behave and that you were going to give up alcohol and fish on Fridays and you were going to, do what you're supposed to do. And so it was a way to hold everybody accountable. We had a big party. Everybody came together. You all made these vows. You had a big feast and a good time. So Lent isn't just about starving and reflecting. I mean, it is. I guess it is. But it was also about keeping the community alive. I came from a background that didn't do Lent. And at all, And I am amazed at how much I enjoy it. The time to reflect. The time to work on being a better person. Trying to be a better Christian. Trying to be a better father. A better husband. To really kind of do some soul searching. Yeah, that'll be a good one. Uh-oh. See if we can do this. In here like this. Yeah. Oh boy, we broke it. It's going to take a lot of pieces. We've also got baling wire. I was trying to do it without it. Maybe I just like some good old guilt. Something like that, I don't know. But really enjoy that time to reflect, to refine, to hone, I don't know, a spirituality or something, Iron sharpens iron as one man sharpens another. And so that time to really kind of sharpen myself, to work on myself. I find it to be very nice. I used to really not like January. Oh, this was another thing. So Lent, I used to really not like January because it's just so cold and it's stupid and it's ugly. Here in Oklahoma, it's just mud and cold. But I read a book called Lilith, and I think it's by, last name's Campbell, George Campbell, something like that. It's not Joseph Campbell. And he wrote a book called Lilith, and it inspired Tolkien. My mind's going blank here. Give me just a second. Not just Tolkien. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. C.S. Lewis. There we go. Tolkien and Lewis. And it kind of inspired fantasy writers after that. And he talked about the cold. And they were taking people down into this cold sepulcher and putting them to sleep, in a sense. They were dying, but the cold was purifying. It was kind of like you wanted to be there, even though it was an eternal sleep. But you wanted this time to shut down and to recharge. And after reading that book, I really got an appreciation for January, for that time to sit down and reflect, to make those New Year's resolutions. And on the therapy side, I've learned and I teach, it takes about 6 weeks, 1,500 repetitions to create a new habit, good or bad. 3 weeks to learn one and about 6 weeks to really set that bad boy into stone. "40 days, which is about how long Lent is. So when we set those New Year's resolutions, which is pretty close to the fasting, all the essentially New Year's resolutions that we make for ourselves during Lent, you have a higher likelihood of actually seeing them come to fruition. Whereas the whole, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to, be nice to people, all these things that we make every year, people usually don't follow through all the way to the end, and that's because they haven't put forth the effort for 40 days. So Lent is a perfect time to make those resolutions. And think about the things. Well, if you've never done Lent, there are things you do. There are abstinences that you take on. So giving up meat, alcohol, chocolate, things you love. I think one year my wife gave up social media. So there's abstinence, there's giving up, and then there's fasting. The two of those are separate. And there's taking things on, taking on more prayer, taking on more alms, taking on more kindness. These things. Which ties in really nicely to your New Year's resolutions. Just the neighborhood addicts rolling through my alley. Okay, that's the one I busted up. Tomatillo. Okay. This is not good wreath making material. I'll be the first to tell you. When I was 12, I used to make a lot of wreaths and sell them. Or thought I was. I don't know what I was doing. But anyway, one year I got offered some money, my brother and I, to make wreaths. So we go down to that creek and gather up a bunch of vines. And little did we know we had gathered poison oak and made this big, beautiful wreath out of poison oak and poison ivy. And we were covered head to toe in poison ivy. It was between our fingers. It was just everywhere imaginable. Okay, so I'm trying to get these buds on here. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Hook this guy in. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, it's looking pretty good. Oh, dang. It's all right. We'll make it work. So why a wreath for Lent? I don't know. You know, I don't think anybody else makes wreaths for Lent. So it's not really it's a season of penance. It's a season of reflecting and being serious, not a season of celebration and making holiday wreaths. But I thought it would be nice to have something on the door just to say, hey, we're getting ready for Christ's return. We're getting ready for spring, Easter eggs, and all that. So why not? But I liked the idea. If you can see these, they're not too shaky. They're kind of bare and cold. They've got those little tips on them. It says, hey, we'll be coming soon. Spring is coming. It's not all bad. It's not all war and coronavirus and ugliness. There's also a lot of beauty out there. Spring is coming. So just keep hanging on. Uh-oh. Somebody's in trouble. Somebody's shih tzu is about to get a spanking. Okay. That needs a little wire. This wreath cost me $0. Got some old baling wire I had in the shed. I already had the pliers. Bradford pear is growing in the front yard, unfortunately. And I guarantee you, you could go take limbs off of one in a park, or someone would probably let you have one. So, what else we got? See if I can get this guy. Okay, come on, in there. Well, guys, we're almost done. I hope this wasn't the worst video you've sat through. I don't know. You got any questions? Shoot me a comment. Thank you.